Hey mamas, Nurse Lana here. I had the privilege of being interviewed by a really good friend of mine, Kassy, from Making Time with Giggles, and I wanted to share you part of our conversation that we had. In this specific part, we're talking about feeding tips for moms with newborns. I hope you enjoy it, and make sure to check out the first part of our conversation that is on Kassy's channel entitled, Is My Baby Getting Enough Food? And I'll leave a link below for you. Enjoy!
Can you give moms and dads out there some just basic signs for, yes, this baby is getting enough food, or maybe no, they aren't getting enough food, and here are some things that you can do to help that?
Sure. Your milk supply should be coming in around 4 days old. So, baby's fourth day of life is when your true milk supply should be coming in. Before that, we have it's called colostrum. That is very rich and very filling for babies. Remember that baby's tummy is super, super tiny, right? It's like the size of a chickpea. So, it doesn't take a lot to fill it up then. So, don't freak out yet. That nice, rich colostrum will be enough and it will fill your baby up. Now, research has shown that if you do a lot of skin to skin and hand massaging on your breasts the first 24 hours of baby's birth, it will help your milk supply come in stronger and quicker. So I like to encourage all my patients those first 24 hours, do a lot of skin to skin, do a lot of hand massaging. Pumping isn't as helpful as hand massaging on those first 24 hours. So if you're worried about your milk supply, start early. Early on, before they even go home, like first day, there are people that are saying, leave your baby on the crib, you're gonna spoil them, don't hold them too much, just let them cry it out. And this poor baby is not even 24 hours old, it's used to being in the womb. So sometimes we hear this thing where it's like, it's okay for your baby to be fussy, let it cry, don't spoil it. And in trying to do that, we end up actually neglecting what they really truly need and what they're trying to tell us. By the time your milk supply comes in, baby's about 4 to 5 days old, your goal should be to feed baby 8 to 12 times every day. We don't like to give a specific every 3 hours feed your baby. There's something called baby led feeding. When your baby tells you he or she's hungry, feed it. If it's been an hour, that's okay, feed it. If it's been 30 minutes, feed it. Just don't let it go more than 4 hours. Then you could be like, okay, let's wake up and eat. Some parents think that you already have to put them on a schedule really early on. And they say, oh, it's been only an hour and a half. You got to wait until 3 hours. Here's a pacifier. That's not going to be helpful to your milk supply. And that's not going to be helpful to your baby who's growing. So just let your baby lead. Make sure that they're getting at least 8 to 12 feedings. Does that make sense?
It's so hard though, because with my second one, I definitely tried more getting her on a schedule earlier. I wasn't like strict, it has to be this amount of time, but was much more like, okay, let's try to have a little bit of time between feedings. But with my son, because we had struggled with her, I was like, okay, I'm just going to let him eat whenever he wants. And it felt like I was feeding him constantly. And even then, we ended up with the most problems with him getting food. So to me, like I just, I mean, maybe I just don't have good milk supply and I don't know. Maybe I'm just, I'm good at other things. Breastfeeding maybe just isn't one of them. But yeah, it's just so hard to know even with that, like how is there a time of like, okay, this is a little too much maybe?
Well, every mother's body is different and every baby is different, right? So no matter what I tell you, there is that thing where nobody's the same. That's one of the reasons why we have so many pediatrician checks, right? I mean, you're one day out of the hospital, you're supposed to already be going to see your pediatrician. Within a week, you're supposed to be going to see. So we're trying to keep a close eye on the baby's weight and see what's going on. The best advice I can give you is if you feel like something's up, you feel like you're just feeding all the time and it's still not enough, go see your pediatrician or lactation specialist because they can weigh your baby. If you make an appointment with a lactation specialist, for example, go during a feeding time while your baby is hungry so they can weigh the baby before, do a full feeding and weigh the baby after. and they will see how much milk is actually transferred, because every milliliter of breast milk equals a gram. If you have a sensitive enough scale, you can actually know how many milliliters of milk got transferred during that feed.
Mm.
So then that way they can tell, are you really not producing enough? Is he just burning too much that's evening out and it's not, does he need extra calories? Sometimes mom's milk, the volume itself could be enough, but you need more calories.
Mm.
So we'll have mom pump, add a powder that helps add calories. So baby's only getting mom's milk still, but with a little bit extra calories in it. So there are different things we can do, but again, it's so specific to every individual.
Right. Yes.
So do go to your checkups.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. With him, it was such a weird situation because he did really great with all of his checkups. Like he gained his birth weight back fast. I don't remember how fast it was, but everyone like was saying, "Whoa, he's already gained his birth weight. That's so great!" And at his 2-week checkup, his pediatrician was like, "Everything looks good. See you at 2 months," and it was kind of like, all right, sign off. He's healthy. Everything's going well. So yeah, it's just, I am very interested in this topic because I would love to know like, oh, this is something that would have helped so much. But yeah, I know it, even with like we had lactation consultants and doing the before and after weighs and things like that. Yeah, there's still just so many different variables, I guess, too.
Yeah, there are. So I do like to also keep in mind that babies have growth spurts. And that goes back to baby-led feeding, because baby could be having a growth spurt and that's why it wants to eat more and more and more for a little while and then goes back. And if you're not supplying that demand during the growth spurt, it could also hinder your baby. Around the second day of life is their first big growth spurt. Usually happens in the hospital. 36 to 40 hours, they will want to usually just eat and eat and eat for hours, 6 to 12 hours sometimes. They just want to eat all the time. And then they zonk out for like 4 hours. And so a lot of moms freak out at that point in the hospital saying, see, I don't have milk. He just wants to eat and eat and eat. But it's not necessarily that you don't have milk. It's just he's having a growth spurt and you're just going to have to keep feeding him. And at that point, if you truly feel like nothing's coming out, it's okay to supplement. That's another thing that I really want to reiterate, because sometimes we can be so set on breastfeeding, breastfeeding, breastfeeding. And yes, your breast milk is really good for your baby, but it can be supplemented along with formula. It doesn't have to be all or nothing. So then around 2 to 3 weeks is another big growth spurt. By that point, you're at home. Your baby is having that growth spurt at home. I remember when my girl had her growth spurt at 2 to 3 weeks, even though I had worked with lactation for years and years, it took me by surprise how much that girl could eat. And I had a good milk supply.
Yeah.
I helped
Way better than
feed,
mine.
I pumped and helped feed probably 3 friends' babies. And still at that 2 to 3 week growth spurt, I was just done. And I handed my child off to my mom and I said, give her a bottle. Just give her some formula. Like, I can't do this. This is crazy. She just wanted to eat and eat and eat. And my nipples couldn't handle it either, which is okay if you need a break, again, for yourself to heal and to keep it going. And I did. I just handed my child over and I said, I know she's having a growth spurt, but I can't handle this. Please feed my child some formula and I will pick it up in a few hours and feed her again. And so it's okay. It's not, don't feel like you're a bad mom because you had to give some formula. Another thing you want to look for is just baby's body language in general. And I will actually have some pictures in my blog to help if people are more visual, but early cues are baby is just kind of stirring a little bit, kind of opening their mouth, maybe trying to lick their hand and just doing the rooting, which is, kind of going like that with their mouth. They're looking for something, but they're calm. They're not crying. That's the best time to put your baby to breast, especially in the early days when they're just learning how to latch and do all of that, because they're calm. They're hungry, but they're not angry yet. Middle cues, they're more stretching, trying to find where is it? Why can't I find it? They're lip smacking. They're being a little more active about it. And then the late cues are the crying, just angry. At that point, it's kind of hard to get them to latch. I really like to reiterate those three early, middle, and late cues because unfortunately, most parents, especially if it's your first baby, you might not catch on until the late cues, right? And by then you're like, oh, my baby's hungry. Let me try to latch them. Well, they're so angry now, they can't even focus on latching. So at that point, if you keep shoving them at your breast, it's just not going to work. You got to calm them down and then help them focus on, okay, this is eating time. Here's the breast or the bottle, whatever it is.
Mhm.
Okay, let's eat. So look at your baby and try to get them on the early cues. Now, on the opposite end, how to know if they're full enough. When babies are full, they will just let go or be use humor as a pacifier. So it's quick, short sucks that are not like long with swallows, right? And their arms will be really just kind of floppy. One of the things that I like to show moms if a baby is full, I will literally pick up the baby's arm and let go, and it just kind of drops back down. If they're still hungry, that arm is nice and rigid like babies usually are, and you can't get it to just flop down. But once they're full, and we call it milk drunk, their arms are just floppy, they're just relaxed. You should even be able to change a diaper, burp baby, put baby skin to skin. If baby's not starting to root around again and look, and it's just sleeping relaxed, you can be sure that your baby's full from that feeding. Something interesting that I recently learned is that you should plan to feed your baby at least once every night for the first 3 months. I used to think that baby might transition to not feeding at night sooner, but based on research and some of the medical experts that I've met and some reading that I've done, they recommend feeding your baby at least one feed every night until they weigh at least 12 pounds and or are 3 months old. So whichever one comes later, if they're 3 months old but they're not 12 pounds yet,
Mm.
keep going until they're 12 pounds, or vice versa. But just make sure you don't drop all night feeds too soon. That will also help your baby get enough of that nutrition that it needs.
Yeah, and that was something our little guy had been doing some longer stretches. He hadn't been going all night because he was still pretty young, but he started to do some like 4, 5, 6 hour stretches. And when we discovered that he wasn't getting enough weight gain, we were told by pediatricians, you've got to, like, we had to set a timer and wake ourselves up and wake him up to make sure that he was getting his blood sugar back up. And it was a struggle because he just wanted to sleep, but I had to like feed him with my finger in a syringe to make sure he was getting enough when we realized he wasn't any other way. So,
And that brings back the whole thing of, every kid is different, and some kids are perfectly fine and others just need some extra care. And the blood sugar thing you're mentioning reminds me that a lot of children shouldn't be eating longer than 30-minute stretch, maybe even 15, 20-minute stretch should be enough to get full and have all the milk you need. If they keep eating after that, unless they're having their growth spurts, they start burning more calories than they're gaining. And at that point, they're actually losing weight while trying to eat. So breastfeed for 15 minutes and then, like you said, finger feed with a syringe or do a bottle with a bigger hole in the nipple, something that they'll get the milk really easily and not work hard for it because you don't want them burning those calories while they're trying to gain weight.
And that was definitely something. My sister's also a pediatric nurse, and she came when she found out everything that was happening, was like, I'm coming. I'm going to spend the day with you. We're going to figure this out. Like, this is serious. And she said the same thing, like, you're actually letting him eat too long, and he's actually burning more calories than he's taking in. I was like, I didn't even know that was possible. Here I am trying to make sure that he gets enough food. So I think that's another big thing a lot of parents don't know. And with him too, we switched bottles. We had bottles. We had been trying to give him a bottle after the feeds, but she said sometimes babies just don't like certain nipples, or sometimes there's a problem with the nipple if they have a little tear or things like that. So that's another thing that people can try too. And as soon as we switched bottles, he immediately started drinking more in a shorter amount of time. So one other question I had with that is, how long should growth spurts last? Because he definitely was doing it for a long period of time, but how long should a parent expect? Like, okay, this is a growth spurt. Okay, now it's actually getting to the point where maybe we need to look at this.
Yeah. Growth spurts usually last 6 to 12 hours.
Okay.
So, And I feel like maybe I'm just unlucky, but I feel like it usually happens at night, at least with me. But so if they go all night wanting to eat every hour or so, but then by the next day and the next night after that, they should be back to their regular schedule.
Okay. That is good to know also.
So I want to have a link for you to check out of the World Health Organization growth curve. And it has birth through 2 years old. You can plug in your baby's weight and see where they fall, if they're underweight or if they're normal. That is the best, most accurate one that we have right now. So if you're questioning your baby, go ahead and plug it in there and see what it is. And then tell your doctor, hey, I plugged it into this. This is what I saw. What do you think? And talk to them about it.
Well, thank you so much for coming on my channel and doing this video, helping educate all of my viewers.
Yes, I look forward to making more videos that are helpful to you. So do let me know the kinds of things you would like to learn. And it would be fun to even do maybe another one together or, whatever you guys want to see.
Yeah, for sure. I think that would be really fun as well.
Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed our conversation. Let me know what you thought. And let me know any other questions you might have or subjects you want to hear about. And remember to subscribe, like, and share. Thank you so much. Nurse Lana sending love to all you mamas.